Welcome, Nomads, to the Nomads of Fantasy, a weekly video game and movie podcast where we make a new universe our home every week. It's episode 105. We are discussing the Joker this week. With me, I have stage clown Brandon.
When I was a little boy and told people I was going to be a comedian, everyone laughed at me. Well, no one's laughing now.
Still good. We have our juggler, Eric, with us.
Oh, for my whole life, I didn't know if I even really existed, but I do. People are starting to notice.
Boy, are they starting to notice.
The two sides of Arthur.
Right.
Which, yes, it's a discussing the 2019. I didn't think this movie was that old already, 4 years old. But
yeah, crazy
movie, The Joker, just kind of its own little standalone plop in the DC Comics bucket. Two of us hadn't seen it. Me and Eric hadn't seen it. Brandon, you had.
That's right. Both of you haven't. Yeah.
And man, was that a friggin' ride?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot. I don't know, Eric. You said this is divisive, but I thought this was pretty.
Yeah,
squarely in the good camp, but
people love it or hate it. It's just one of those that I think people love to hate.
We'll find out in the comments if people.
I was just gonna say, why don't we
on Twitter
check the social? I want to see what other people said because
sure.
Yeah,
I kind of have a feeling what we're gonna say, but.
Yeah, if you want to get at us over on Twitter, we're at Nomads of Fantasy, who just said, have you seen Joker? What did you think? Gamer Looks at 40 says, Joaquin does great work with decent material. The underlying themes are nothing new and border and on sophomoric, but Phoenix more than makes up for it. As someone sophomoric, yes. Whoa. Someone else said, a touch overrated, but still worth a watch. And I think that's where the most negative comments come from, is people saying that it's overrated, but people love to hate
I don't know the performance by Phoenix. How are we pronouncing that?
Joaquin.
Yeah. Did you say Jacquin?
Jacquin. I like that. I tried spelling it before out of my head, and I'm like, not even close there.
Yeah, very interesting name.
Will you in fact eat that crust? Podcast says. I mean, a lot of it is pretty true on how hard it is to find and maintain mental health care. Without insurance, it's nearly impossible.
Yeah.
Well, Gotham's a dark and dirty place. I would assume that their healthcare is probably pretty shitty there, but
it's a corrupt city. I mean, the whole thing about. We'll get into Gotham. I think Gotham is one of the main characters. But...
Yeah. It's definitely a lot of commentary going on in this movie. Our good buddy Jake says, Joaquin Phoenix is so great, his laugh is haunting, and I really hope they keep him going in that role beyond the sequel coming out. For sure.
Which would be interesting.
I can't wait.
There's more stuff coming.
It's going to be a musical. It's got Lady Gaga in it.
Yeah, that's some interesting stuff going on with the second one, yeah.
Is it the same director?
I don't know. I think so. I believe so.
Okay, we'll have to check that out.
The Derek Duval Show says, masterpiece character study. That's the Scuttlebutt says, honestly, overrated. Overrated combat. Stu World Order says, an incredibly strong performance buoys a really weak derivative and frankly pretty silly story.
No, that is wrong.
That is interesting.
That is wrong.
Dave is ready to talk about this movie.
That is wrong. He's sipping his chalice over there.
Let's get through it.
Other people know.
Creative Control Movie Podcast says Dave's turning into the Joker as we speak over there.
They're hard to stop after seeing this.
Creative Control Movie Podcast says it's a great film, but it shouldn't have been a Joker movie. Remove that element and it would have been a wonderful character-driven film with whom you could empathize on a certain level, as opposed to being a character you should not support.
Interesting.
Another interesting take, which again we'll get into.
Yeah,
I don't think I agree with that.
The Joker because it humanizes them and gives them some sort of in-world grounding.
Oh, I don't know about that.
But these are I have a feeling that we all liked it, but it's good to hear these perspectives.
Yeah, I like the differing
take-
opinions for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna help us think about some things, I think, in our conversation.
One more from SP Film Viewer says it's like a cross between Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy, which I've never seen either of those movies. So
I just finished watching King of Comedy before this movie, and I've already seen Taxi, and I can totally see the inspiration. Not a remake or anything like that, but there are just very big elements that influenced the stories and the characters in the world of this for sure.
the only thing I know is that Taxi Driver also had De Niro in it, but that's it.
De Niro's in all of them. He's also the main guy. He's the crazy Arthur character in the King of Comedy.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
And as
All right.
yes. And what's funny is because he kidnaps a talk show host, and in the Joker, he becomes the talk show host. So there's like it's like obvious inspiration for sure that like he's wearing it on his sleeve with this movie. I think it's with
That's cool.
respect, but anyways,
Yeah, that's our
Cool.
socials at No
Well, I
Man's
think-
Fantasy.
I don't know. I think this one tells a great story from a different point of view that we have not usually seen, but we'll get
What do we-
into that
yeah. What are we watching?
Yeah, what's up next on the schedule?
next week. Oh, we're getting into the summer
we're in June.
blockbusters.
Yeah,
Going back to the 90s, getting into our Arnie.
is it
Arnie-
True Lies? Okay,
It is
yes.
True
Oh, I
Lies.
can't fucking wait.
I cannot wait, dude.
I've never
cannot.
seen it. It's one of my Arnold holes. Gotta fill it.
That's good. I
I
haven't
haven't
seen
seen
that
it.
one in ages,
Yeah, same.
which
Same.
is good.
I think it just
'cause-
came to Prime Video, actually.
It's on
like
Prime
just
or HBO,
recently.
It's on one of them. Okay,
Nice.
yeah, it's available.
Within like
to
the
stream.
past week. So yeah. Hell yeah. I'm excited for
Very
that.
cool.
Fantastic. After that, we're going to early 2000s, late 1990s, and watching Contact, getting some alien discussion.
Late
going.
90s.
Late
Yeah.
90s.
Okay.
It's
Alright.
baby Matthew McConaughey coming in there. And
Dave's
then,
Jodie
been-
Foster, I think, will be also her making her debut on the show.
Dave's been itching to talk about aliens.
Yeah, I love talking about anything.
I love alien
I get
movies.
it. I get it going.
I like a good one. I like
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah, definitely.
Documentary. After that, we're getting into Journey to the West. This was an old Chinese, would you say folklore, Eric?
Yeah, basically. That inspired a lot of things today.
Yeah.
Mostly anime, but yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be fun.
Yeah, so we'll close out the month with that, and then July will be all sorts of other fun random travels on our nomad journeys. So
That's right.
let's take a quick break here before I start yelling about the Joker and how good it is. So I don't know. There's too many things to talk about. It's gonna be here for a while. So
Can we
let's
all
break here?
Can we go to break while simultaneously all doing our Joker laughs?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. All
All
right.
right, on three.
Count it
right?
down.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
You guys are fucking crazy.
We're all
You
fucking
gotta take
crazy.
You gotta take that deep breath in and then try to hold it in, but you
Yeah,
let it out
it's a
'cause you
pain.
can't
It's like a
help it.
pained laughter. It's cry.
It's
like,
like
a little bit of
the
cry,
deep
tears in
There's
there.
a sorrow in there
Yeah.
that's like just you can't control it.
Right. All right, let's go to break.
We're broken. All right.
Bye.
Oh, we didn't break yet. Oh,
Bye.
Okay. See you in a minute. See you in a minute. Hey everybody, it's the Nomads. We're back to talk about The Joker, the 2019 film directed and written by Todd Phillips.
Just fucking weird.
Starring
Scott Silver.
Scott Silver. What's he do?
He helped write this with Todd Phillips. And I didn't know that Todd Phillips is the guy who did
Most well
Road
known for
Trip
The Hangover.
and the Hangover movie.
The Hangover,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Hangover
Wow.
movies. It's so weird. He went, He
Scott
mostly
Silver wrote
did comedies
8 Mile.
in his portfolio. Oh, really? He wrote 8
Yeah.
Mile. Interesting.
He apparently helped write 8 Mile. So that's cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, but he writes stuff, directs it. Yep, very
Stuff.
interesting.
It is. We always like our writers that direct as well.
Yeah.
Always seems to come up with quality material out of this.
Yeah.
Just to touch on some of the wiki notes here. Ran for 2 hours. We all watched it on HBO Max, which is nice because we didn't have to actually buy a movie.
Hold
budget-
on. It's just
Okay.
Max now.
Oh, yeah, Max, whatever.
That's so stupid.
They took the inner circle and the O from HBO and put it in the A.
So stupid.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
And it's a whole
Yeah.
separate app too that you have to download. It's so
Yeah.
dumb.
HBO
And
is
it's
just
a
HBO.
generic-
Just
Yeah.
be yourself.
But we all know HBO's theme song. Bennett, dun it, dun you know, like
I don't know
HBO
that
is
song.
like you don't know the classic HBO.
I just know the.
I know the
What?
bum. Yeah, I know that. The bum.
Oh no! You got oh my god, you guys! There's an awesome like 2-minute intro to HBO, and you go into the logo, but it's over this village. I'll show you guys.
That must
That's
be
pretty
like
sweet.
back in the day or something because I don't.
back in the
don't know
day.
that
I don't know,
shit.
like late 80s, early 90s.
Huh.
Yeah.
It has a
Check it
cool, it has a legit theme song. For
Well,
the
now
HBO,
it's just Max. All right, meet Max.
Yeah.
That's all you
and that's
get.
where we watched it. But anyways, back to your facts.
Yeah, made on a budget of 55. I don't know how the budget is 55 to 70 million. That seems like a range of a
Oh,
budget.
really? I read 60 million somewhere, so like right in the middle of that.
That's-
which is weird.
Sounds right. Sure. Any guess? Oh, you guys, have you seen how much this movie made?
I know
it made
it's
like over $1 billion.
over $1 billion.
Like, holy fuck!
And
like,
most
that
of it
is-
was overseas.
I did not see that coming. The billions.
This was apparently like was it the first one? I don't know. One of the first rated R movies to make over $1 billion.
Yeah,
That
it's crazy.
is-
It has a lot of accolades that it achieved in
which
this.
Nominated for a slew of awards. Won a slew
Yep.
of awards too.
I mean, I think are all pretty well deserved.
Yeah.
Um,
Like Joaquin won for Best Actor, I think. I know it was nominated for Best Picture. Didn't win, but it was nominated. Like,
Yeah.
this is no joke.
even the I always like movies that are
No joke. No jokes in this
it's-
one.
It is not a joke. It's like timepieces where this was like
Yeah,
I
this
thought
is
I figured it was like 70s.
So,
1981.
late 70s.
Yeah, 1981. It apparently is
Oh, okay,
dated
there you go.
based on the movies that were out at that time. Because like there's
Okay.
Yeah,
there's the
It's
scene
King
with
of
where you
Comedy
can
and-
see
and, Taxi
yeah,
Driver.
right. You can see at one point there's the movie theater and you can see what movies are playing and all those movies came out in 1981.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, just I don't know, those worlds where you kind of it's like a little time capsule where you get tossed back in time and
Mhm.
see how things were back in the day. But
Mhm.
let's get into some thoughts, questions, comments, concerns. Eric, it was your first time seeing this movie.
It was.
How'd you feel about this one?
I don't know. I was going in not knowing what to expect. I knew people
Some jokes.
like some jokes. I knew people liked it, you know, and like I knew that some people didn't like it, some people thought it was overrated, like the comments said, but I just went in for the ride and I really enjoyed it. Like
That's all right.
yeah, it takes you to places that I wasn't really expecting. I mean, I guess where it kind of ends up, you know, just because again, it comes with the kind of the territory with it being a Joker story. But what I loved about it is that it was like an original Joker story. They created this Arthur Fleck character, completely original for this movie. And like this backstory to the Joker has never been told. It's completely different from like the accepted canonical backstory that
I was
is
wondering,
in the
'cause
comics.
I knew it was like it's a different Joker than what's in the comics, correct?
Right. So like I mean the Joker in the comics is the main. He has like tons of different origin stories, but the main one is like he fell into a vat of chemicals, got disfigured, and that's what drove him insane.
That
But-
was the one in Tim Burton's.
That's like in a couple different versions of the Joker, but there's so many different versions of the Joker. And I liked that this one is unique, and they focused on like the mental illness route, and like clearly this is a man struggling with mental illness, and he's not getting the help he needs, and we can kind of see how it progresses through the movie, and that's what I really liked about it. But yeah, I thought it was great. I had a well, I don't know if I would say I had a good time with it, but
Right.
it's a good movie.
It's like when you watch The
dark.
Lighthouse. You
Yeah,
don't know
exactly.
how to feel at the end. Like I feel something. I just
Right.
don't feel good.
I wasn't like happy after I saw this movie.
You feel
That's for
kind of
sure.
dirty.
Yeah,
'cause you're
definitely.
rooting for this guy, even though he is legit killing people.
Definitely.
It
But
makes me feel like a psychopath now because I had a
but
great
like
time.
that's
Put
kind
that
of
put that clown mask on, Dave.
But-
Oh no, here it comes again.
Dave. What about you? What was your experience?
I knew it was gonna be good. Because I heard a lot about Joaquin Phoenix's
Joe Kwan.
acting, Joaquin Phoenix's acting chops in this. I saw that tons of nominations or whatever. I love
Yeah.
me some comic books. I love me some comic book movies.
Right.
The thing that I really loved about this one, the time capsule thing in itself, but
Yeah.
it grounded like in most of the Batman stuff. Like Joker's just like a crazy fuck that just comes out of nowhere. This one, the grounding in reality and like seeing his growth from like his growth.
It humanizes him
I don't
a
know.
bit.
It humanizes him and gives it like it makes it just not seem like a comic book movie. It seems like this is like something that could realistically happen under these set of circumstances and stuff like that. So, yeah, I thought it was kind of like following somebody's descent into madness. It is kind of like exhilarating and fun, but like dark and twisted at the same time. I don't know. It's good. Definitely one of those ones that like I would absolutely watch again. But I don't know, the tone and like there's it's a movie that you're watching. You're not like sitting on your phone and like playing Marvel
Right.
Snap while you watch this. Like you gotta
Right.
It's
not that you have
engrossing.
to pay attention, but there's a
Pulls
lot of
you in.
those long. Yeah, there's a lot of long shots where there might not be a lot of stuff happening, but there's character development and like exposition happening at the same time.
What I loved, and like
So-
even in those quiet moments, like you could really, with the music also helps with this, but like you could feel the tension like throughout the
Mhm.
entire movie. Like he could snap at any moment.
Dude,
When he's getting fired and everything fades out and you just see the fucking grin on his face and you know that he's dying inside,
hmm
but he can't help but fucking smile. Like
right.
Oh,
Well, his
it's
relationship
chilling.
with his mother, but that tension, Eric. So when I first watched the movie, I was just so caught up with Joaquin's performance. I mean, how could you not?
Right.
And I was like, wow, that was a ride. I feel crazy right now. But then watching it the second time, I can pay attention to other things, and I was trying really hard to pay attention to the music.
Mhm.
And what I was noticing, at least this is what I was taking, it was like, it's this cello. The woman who composed the music, she plays like this cello or whatever, and it's like off. It's just like the timing's off, like, and it's like him trying to fit in, right? And like it's part of that tension. Like, why can't the song feel good? It feels off. I'm like, okay, well, he's crazy, but like the music is trying to also tell you that. And at the very end of the movie, at that point, he's in harmony with the music, and it's beautiful music, and he's swaying to it and dancing to it so much because he's always been trying to do that. But the music I was noticing was just trying to find its way, and I think the music was also a big part, like a massive layer to this story, and I loved it because it really does stop the sound, and you hear what's in his head, or you see what he wants to see.
Right. And you don't know what's real or what
And I
to
love that
believe throughout the
little
entire
surprise.
movie. Yeah.
not until like the switch. Like I watched this with my wife. Do you guys watch this with anybody? With the
No.
ladies? Not
This was
a
a loner.
ladies movie.
Loner for me.
Like my wife loved it too. She thought it was like just the acting and the portrayal of it. She's like, I like kind of rooting for this guy now. Like, kind of, like you said, it humanizes him and gives you a little bit more of his backstory other than just some crazy fucker killing people in a purple
Right.
coat. Like,
Dave, you should check out Tarantino's opinion on this movie. It's really good, where he
Yeah.
goes into like those are the people who went to the movie theater. That was like the penultimate experience of this movie. He said the movie's good. It's a really good movie, but it's downright genius how good this movie is. If you're in the theater and he talks about it in depth, I won't give it away, but the way he explains it, was like, oh wow, because he's like, you feel like you were rooting for this guy. You shouldn't be rooting for this guy. And the way that they made you feel, like you shouldn't all feel like this together, and as a group rooting for this guy because what the hell's going on in the movie, right? They're all rooting. So, anyways, it's good.
That's something I think it's like relatable though. It's like that one person, like the 1%er, the rich 1%er are fucking hoarding all their wealth, and like I saw some people calling it a socialist movie or something like. I get it. Like you're trying to, I don't know, you're trying to shit on like
Kill the rich,
the big wig, big wigs kind of stuff. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of parallels to that in America right now, where like you have a small amount of people with a gross majority of the wealth, and like,
yeah, man.
as long as we're all fucking wearing Joker masks.
It's that too, and it kind of focuses on like underprivileged people in being swallowed up by a city, because he's obviously struggling with mental illness throughout this entire movie. He's trying to get the help he needs. He's going to see this social worker. He's they're providing him with medication that's may or may not be helping him. Right, exactly. But then the funding gets cut to the social services, and he's left out in the cold with nothing. Like he's like, okay, where can I get my medications now? Who can I talk to? And the social worker's like, I'm sorry, I have nothing for you.
Like we're lost our jobs. Like I don't know.
I can't help you
got our
anymore.
own problems.
Right.
Yeah.
So like,
and it's all over the place. Like
Yeah.
Gotham is a shithole in this version. Like it's got its crime in the other ones. Do what you will with like from different versions, but like in this one, like it seems really bad. Times are
They're
really
super
tough.
rats.
super rats. There's a
There's super rats.
garbage.
I heard
There's a
about
garbage strike going on. Like,
What are they gonna do? Get super
like,
cats?
there's just
It's fucking-
garbage in the streets. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
But like the richest guy in the city is gonna save us all. He's gonna save
Right.
us. He's gonna run for mayor and stuff like that. And there's the tension in the city. Again, I think Gotham is a character. I think the music is a big part of the storytelling in this. Like I think the production in this movie is outstanding. I don't see the critique like of like issues that people had with it. I don't see it, but like I ate everything up, and I truly think it's good. It's better that it's a DC film. I think I love this version of Gotham.
Yeah, it's really cool because like it makes it seem like, in the other versions of the Joker, like you said, he's just like this chaotic figure that is out there to cause chaos just for the sake of chaos. But in this version, Arthur's just a regular guy, has his own problems. He's just trying to fit in life. Yeah, dealt a really bad hand in life. And like he just happened to fall into this like
the cracks of
he happened to fall into being like, he did one thing, he killed these 3 rich dudes after he snapped. He was tired of being treated like shit. He just had
those fuckers had it coming. Like,
dude,
where Arthur goes, he's just getting the shit kicked out of him. Like, people are stealing his signs.
That's the
people are
thing.
fucking with him.
The pistol, like, what was Arthur's, like, what was he thinking taking it to the kids' hospital, children's hospital? And he dropped that. I was like, what is wrong with you?
He just had it. Yeah, he just had it on him at all times.
He's just like, shh.
He's like, whoops, oh shit.
Right?
Yeah.
And then he gets his job, but then he's holding it on him. And then he takes it on those kids in the subway. But like,
it's all just incidental,
Were you feeling like, he's protecting himself? Like he killed them. Like he protected himself with maybe the first 2.
Yeah.
But the third one he hunted down.
Well, I think after he, popped his cherry, so to speak, he was, that was obviously that's the turning point of this entire movie. is
He had nothing else, anyways.
right. He he felt that power. He always felt so powerless in his entire life. He felt weak. He was just getting beat down by society and literally, we see it in like one of the first scenes of the movie, those kids steal his sign and fucking kick the shit out of him. And they're like teenagers. So he feels like he
probably
feels
weighs like 80 pounds
defenseless.
soaking wet too. Like,
Right, he's
Oh my
so
God.
skinny.
How
So
fucking
skinny.
skinny Joaquin got for this? Like that is.
Yeah, he lost like 50 something pounds for this movie.
Why can't I do that?
You want to look like that, Dave? Fucking
Yeah,
skin
yeah.
and bones.
I don't know if I need to go that far, but Yeah.
But yeah, he was just tired of being beat down in his life, and mentally he has all these issues, and he just happened. It was wrong place, wrong time. He has this gun on him, and he's like uses it, and that was the turning point for him, and obviously that was a catalyst that started this whole like Joker movement. So
What did you think about like the pistol making him dance? Like, there's a thing about him and dancing. Again, the music, but like,
Yeah.
he. There's sometimes we hear it, and I think most of the time we do hear it. But when he's dancing, like he can't help himself. Like he gets that pistol, and he's not doing like put him up. He's not doing like what you would normally do. He's like dancing, like he feels good, like it feels at peace and alive and purposeful, and like it's like a different version of him, because another version he just wants to do what he's told, which is make people happy, be happy, make people happy, and joke around and stuff like that. But like Rose just kicking his ass. But now he's got the pistol, and he's like he starts to feel good in his own creepy way.
like a safety blanket almost. Where like like that's nobody's gonna
It's like,
fuck with him if he's got that. So.
But is it like it's an attachment to like a mother father, because he never had a father, and the mother, we learn about like what she was really doing to him. Like he didn't really have like something like this. Does he feel safe, like protected and safe with this thing? Like he feels like he found something that's been missing in his life that's going to give him control,
power.
purpose.
It's
like,
about power.
I can
yeah.
take people's lives now.
Right.
Assholes. Like he should not be killing any of these people, but he is killing assholes. You know what I'm saying? It's like when people watch Dexter. You're
Right.
watching this guy.
Exactly.
He's killing horrible people, but he's still killing. It's the same thing, I think. 'Cause it's but he is taking out
Similar.
bad
You
people.
could draw a
That's-
line like these were just rich assholes. They weren't. I mean, they were kicking the shit out of him, but it's not like they were fucking,
Or nothing.
They
Yeah.
weren't killing him.
Fucking with the girl on the train too.
Yeah, they were just
Yeah.
drunk assholes. Yeah, again, it was wrong place, wrong time for them.
But
you don't know who
like
you're
even
fucking
them, it shows the dichotomy. There's no like middle ground. It's like the rich assholes or you're just poor as shit.
Oh, yeah.
And like
Yeah.
like and you see that when he goes into fuck with what is it, Thomas Wayne?
Well,
Is that
Thomas
the dad?
Wayne's the one that kind of divides him when he goes on for like that the interview after the killings happened, because those three kids were the one they worked for him, and like
Oh, did they? I didn't catch that.
yeah, the three assholes they worked for Thomas Wayne, so he went on the news like doing an interview, and he was like, yeah, these people, these lowlifes are just jealous of people who have their lives together, and he
That's
calls
just-
them all
It's
like
stoking the flame.
jokers.
Calls them clowns.
Yeah, calls them clowns. Yeah, exactly. So like that right there, he divides. He makes the dividing line between the rich and the poor. Like not even poor, but like middle class and poor, and then rich
Like,
is
you
like
don't
way
even
up
see
here.
it though. You just see streets full of garbage, and then when he goes to the theater or whatever, you see everybody in their
Right.
tuxedos and they're eating nice food and like they have everything taken care of. And you got people that can't afford health care.
Yeah,
It's
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
it's a big. I don't know.
But this is supposed to be our good guy. This is Batman's dad. This is like the good guy. These are the good guys. But like the way they portray them is just like, he's like, I don't even know the
Portray
kids,
him as
but,
a complete asshole.
I heard they.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't even know like the kids that got killed though. He says
No.
in that press conference. But yes, elitist stuff. Yeah. What did you think about the Arthur and his mom's like relationship, where like he's bathing his mom, he's like living
That
with
was a little
her,
creepy,
she's
but-
crazy.
I think that's the only person in his life that he really had that cared about him. So he was kind of, he was there for her. She needed someone. It was a I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. Symbiotic relationship.
Symbiotic? Yeah,
Yes.
there you
yes.
go.
Symbiotic, yeah.
So like she
Yeah.
needed him to take care of him. He needed her because she was like the only person in his life that loved him. He
Right.
had nowhere else to go. So like they were just
Did
kind
he-
of a pair.
Did he repress all of those childhood memories at some point? Like
He
he
must
seemed
have.
to not have known.
Yeah.
The boyfriend beat the fuck out of him, and he was found tied to a radiator. So
Seemed like a
Like,
pretty
he
big
did-
memory to hard
Yeah.
to forget.
Repressed, yeah, too young to remember. Like I don't know how old he
for
was.
brain damage, like
That
he's
too,
not
yeah.
normal. Like he's got this uncontrollable laugh. Like he's not funny, like he's awkward.
It's like the funny, like the laugh and like the funny crazy part almost comes like a combination of like the mom always saying that he was there to put joy into the world and smile and be a happy face, but then like he's also kind of fucking crazy. Kinda. He is pretty, he's got some loose ends that need tying, but I think that they kind of play into each other. And then at a certain point throughout the movie, we realize that previous scenes that we had seen are only in his head. Like, because we don't know that some of the shit, like the girl that lives in the building,
Yeah, the whole
Yeah.
relationship with Sophie. Yeah, her.
like
yeah.
that entire thing is just in his head, and like they don't show that until after like all of the dates and everything, and he just walks into her apartment and sits on the couch.
Well, I kind of
that's
got that.
That's when the wife or my wife goes like, "Holy shit!" Like all the things was made up, and I'm like, "Oh my god, it was!"
Dude, when
isn't it great?
When it first started, I sort of had that inclination because, like, when he's in the comedy club, right? He's bombing. He's like he can't get a joke out.
And
He's
she's
laughing
there listening.
hysterically. He's and he's trying to get a joke out, and then like all of a sudden the music swells up, and then he's like has his arms out and people are clapping. So that's the
And he
point
goes-
where he's like imagining things in his head,
Yes.
like, oh, the night went great. I had a great date with this girl.
Right.
All this stuff.
And that's
And,
what
like,
De Niro's character is doing in the King of Comedy. He keeps fantasizing about how things are going to play out,
Mhm.
and it's like these ridiculous things where like it's like these situations, and that's what he's doing. But like I thought they did a really good job with it because like it's supposed to do the whole Fight Club kind of Tyler Durden thing, on you. We're like, oh my god, I didn't see that coming, and yeah,
'cause
I fell for it
it's-
for the
it's
first
cool.
time.
Yeah,
Fight Club spoiler warning.
I definitely fell for it too because
You've had time.
they
Go on.
drag it out because like Sophie's there in the hospital too. Like when his mom was in the hospital, she's like comforting him.
Do you want me to get you coffee?
Right. She went, yeah. And they're like, they're hanging out. They're,
Stays
I'm like,
with
oh,
me, with me.
I felt happy for him. I'm like, oh, he found someone he can have a
He's got
relationship
something.
with. And then, yeah, that moment when he goes into his apartment, it all just comes, or into her apartment, it all comes crashing down when he.
Well, this is the only part of the movie where I'm like, how did he do this? Where he's just not being caught. Like
There's some things where I had like multiple parts of this movie where I'm like, how is he not getting caught? Like when he's
Yeah.
sneaking into like the movie theater and like all that shit.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
that part specifically. Where he's wearing like a suit.
Yeah.
And he's just standing around. What if somebody asked him for something? Like, hey, can you show me? He's like, oh, I gotta follow, Mr. Wayne over there. But then he goes in the bathroom.
Well, there's the big
anyway.
riot, and then there's guards all over, but he just happened to squeeze through, and there's an unguarded,
Yeah.
unlocked side
that's-
door, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Well, the unguarded unlocked door is something, but like there was literally like a cop gets pulled into the crowd and everybody's attention goes there,
Yeah.
and he just kind of skirts around.
Little
This is
plot
what the
armor
fucking
for
Joker
him.
does. That's
whatever.
what
But
Yeah.
whatever. I mean,
Joker's
I
got
mean,
no
it doesn't-
superpowers. He's
no,
just fucking.
I can
crafty.
accept that. I
That's
can
his
accept
shit.
that. Yeah,
But that's
fine.
that's like nitpicking. Where like
Yeah.
how could be? But anyways, he does go in. He does confront who he thinks is his father. He's falling for his mom's like lie here.
Is it really
And-
his father?
It's
It's
not.
not his dad. It's all made up. They're like, yo, she worked for us. Yes, she adopted you, but then she went crazy, and we haven't worked with her since because she went crazy. But like, it was all over the news. There was all
I
these
saw
like,
the
headlines of him
Picture
being-
at the end. Well, because we get it all from like the files that he gets from the Arkham Asylum or whatever. But the
But-
one thing, like towards the end, when he's putting on his makeup to go to the show or whatever, he sees a picture of his mom and he flips it over, and there's like a signature from Thomas Wayne on the back of it.
I mean,
which-
at one point, I think they were together, but she's not like he's not. They never had a kid together. Like it was in between when she adopted him, and when they were together that she like started going crazy.
He goes and investigates, and he finds the files, and he steals it. He does find the
Yeah.
proof of it. That they were like Alfred was telling the truth at the gate when he was trying to like
What was that, Alfred? I didn't even think of that.
yeah.
Yeah, they
yeah,
said
it is.
Alfred.
Oh, I didn't even put that
But
there.
anyways,
He's so young.
But
Master Bruce.
Not Alfred. Arthur confronts who he thinks is his father, and his father's like, "No, dude." And then he says, "You're not my son. Stay away from mine." Punches him in the nose, and at that point, he's like, "I have to kill my mom." Right? He kills his mom, and then he goes on a straight up killing spree, and that's like the end of Arthur as he was for up to that point, and then he starts turning into the Joker. I think.
I thought it was when the last crack I think was when he got the files and he found out that he was adopted and that his mom like had all these horrific things happen to him, and it seems like that's like everything comes rushing back where he kind of realizes that.
And how did he end up back with her? Like Gotham fucked up. Like
Gotham's
he should not have
in
gotten
general.
back in her custody ever.
Right.
As a narcissist, like she just ruined his life, and he is the way he is because of what she did.
Sorry,
Dave is such a good.
I
Your laugh
have a
kind of
condition.
reminds me of.
I have a condition. I can't help it.
It reminds me of BioShock.
It does.
Welcome to the circus of value.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It was very creepy, jokery.
Yeah. What'd you guys think of the? I guess I don't know. I know some people were complaining a little bit about like the Batman connection being sort of shoehourned in.
I thought they did just fine because like
I
get
it's
it.
like a
The
little
producers
side
go,
piece.
You got to put Batman in or some way. I was like, well, how about
Got
he's
little
a kid
Bruce?
and
Yeah, got little Bruce
It's
in there.
fine.
It didn't bother me.
And tying in, it almost tied into the Tim Burton Batman movie because in the Tim Burton one, the Joker kills his parents, but in this one, he's the instigator
He's
for
basically
the
the
riots
cause of it,
that
the
end up
catalyst of
killing
why. Yeah,
parents. But it did have a lot of similarities there, like the pearl necklace getting ripped off, and
I like
saw
that.
a couple
I like
couple
that
of
touch.
close
Iconic, yeah.
shots.
like listen, like we're gonna eventually get to this part of the conversation about DC, right? And and I think all of this is sorely needed in the comic book genre. Like
DC.
it's just,
You've said this before. This is how DC can differentiate themselves from Marvel. Go the darker route. Go
super
with
villain origin
the more-
stories.
the more
The
gritty
more
side of
based in
things.
reality kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do this to the Penguin. Do
Marvel
this to the
Marvel
Riddler.
does the blockbuster summer fun like actiony movies. DC can focus on these like character studies and like these darker origin stories and like these grittier, show the ugly side of Gotham, and that's the kind of stuff that I want out of superhero stuff,
Right, where Batman becomes like your Thanos. You're building up to the big fight,
Right.
but like you don't want him to win, but he's Batman. He's the good guy. But like, what if Batman is like a complete, like kind of a jerk a little bit? He's just like too Captain Righteous or something like that, And you sympathize with like Arthur and I'm sorry, the Joker. I guess at this point, like it could be done. It could be done. It could be done. Not fucking Flash, the Wonder Woman. That's boring.
Yeah.
Like that's boring. It's been done.
It's those ones have a kind of a template that go with them where I don't know.